May I come in, sir?
Please.
Good morning, sir. Good morning.
Good morning,
sir.
Please take a seat.
Thank you, sir.
Would you please, Mr. Pratik Nandkumar, briefly introduce yourself to the board?
Yes, sir. So my name is Pratik Nandkumar. I was born, brought up, and had my earlier schooling in Nagpur district, in Bishnur particularly. After that, I did my bachelor's in science and physics from University of Pune. Later, pursued my master's of arts in English literature from University of Pune. Along with it, I did NCC and played water polo during my college time. And currently, I like to play badminton, online chess, cooking, and swimming.
Excellent. Right.
So, Pratik,
Yes.
you mentioned water polo. What is water polo?
Ma'am, it is.
And what is polo?
Ma'am, it is one of a game that we play. It is similar to football, but in water. But we play it with our hands. So the modus operandi is nearly same. You have to
Same
score
rules.
near about. You have to score the opponent's goal post.
Which game is it similar? Sorry.
Not in
Football.
terms of not in
Similar
terms.
to football, no?
No, ma'am, it's not exactly similar to football. Just in a way for a person to understand, and this is how we tell.
How many players on each side?
7 players on each side.
Players on each side.
Yes.
And you were a professional player, or it was just for fun?
No, ma'am, I played it. I was a goalkeeper.
Or you were the goalkeeper? How
Yes.
many goals did you save? Just
A
by
lot.
goal? A lot. Okay, very good. So coming to international relations, I'll take you there. What do you think is happening, or where is China-India relations headed? And what is the current state of China-India relations?
Ma'am, to sum up this India-China, it will be competition, cooperation, and conflict. So conflict in terms of territorial integrity, that we are maintaining ours. Competition in terms of leading the world, becoming the next powerhouse of the world or manufacturing hub, and cooperation in terms of Asian premium charges that are being put by the Gulf, or climate change, or the unilateralism that have been gone by the various Western countries. So in order to stand against it, and also in order to make the century Asian century, so cooperation in that way.
You think it will work?
Currently, ma'am, it is working, but
Because China says we are far ahead of you. Who are you? Yeah? Don't they have that attitude?
ma'am, they do have the attitude, but we are now picking up the pace, and by various reports, as the India will be the largest population by this half of the year, and by 2050, China will be nearly half of the population
What
that
is
it has.
China's response to that?
They published 1 or 2 articles in the Global Times where they said that we have quality, India have quantity.
And there's no quality at all. So in any case, they are always, saying you are no competition for us. And you have to collaborate on our terms, is it? Is that what they're trying to do?
Yes, ma'am, they are trying to do, but in the time frame that now we are moving towards this 2047 to become one of a developed country, I believe we will be taking various initiatives to reskill our youth, provide employment, and increase the size of middle class in the country, so that the purchasing power of a country and economy will be grown. And even as of now, we are not too short. It is just we are currently half in terms of the purchasing power parity what the Chinese population is having. But if we consider it to 2035 or 2040, then we will be above China in terms of purchasing power.
You think we'll reach there
Yes, ma'am.
at the current chaotic growth that we are having?
Yes, ma'am. We have to be optimistic.
We have to be optimistic.
Yes, ma'am.
Very good. And what is happening along our sort of line of actual control and border along with China, on the India-China line of actual control, and what is happening? What is happening and why? Constantly some friction has been there since 2020, isn't it?
Yes, ma'am.
Just tell me a little bit about that.
Ma'am, it is about
And whether
the...
that has impacted our
Yes, ma'am.
relationship.
Yes, ma'am. It is about the China's absurd claim on Indian territory. For example, in Arunachal Pradesh, they claim it as a part of a South Tibet. Then even
What did they do there recently?
they changed the name of around places. It is the third time they have done it, and India have protested for that. So it is, for us, it is a matter of the sovereignty and territorial integrity. For this, India is as of now trying to inflict the cost, the economic cost in for example, production-linked incentive scheme, the domestic promotion in terms of production and manufacturing, and various initiatives such as the recently the Desh bill was there. One Desh bill, district for the enterprises, and also one district one program. So we are trying to inflict the economic cost, but now these are the long-term measures that the government of India is taking. Currently, as our trade is booming up, it is around 130 US dollar. Yes, it is in favor of China, ma'am. But in a gradual phase, we are trying to reduce it.
And also yesterday and before also we've been talking about special initiatives in Arunachal. What is the latest that, and in the Northeast, what is the latest that has been announced by the government to encourage more sort of connectivity, I should say?
There are projects which have been taken. For example, the tunnel project to connect the Tawang region. One. Second, the number of the ITBP soldiers have doubled and tripled
From the local
population, and also the Vibrant Village program. So these three initiatives have been
4G.
taken. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, yesterday's been or the day before, I think. 4G, giving 4G connectivity to everyone there, so that
Yes, ma'am.
we can act as our eyes and ears and have good connectivity.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, and
Ma'am, these are three that I'm aware.
Initiatives.
Yes,
and
ma'am.
what is happening on the, that is the eastern border? What about the northern border? What has been happening with China there as well?
Currently, ma'am, Corps of Commander level meetings are being arranged to de-escalate on various places. So till yesterday, this was the fresh news, ma'am.
And is it leading anywhere? You think we're going to get amicable solutions, or we're going to carry on talking?
Ma'am, as our Honorable Prime Minister also have said that this is not an era of war, it is an era of diplomacy. We have to talk.
Last question. A lot of people are saying that Quad, or even China included, say Quad is not in India's interest. You know, and they're dismissing and or even they're threatening India. You know, you can't go with the US, and you can't threaten us, etc. So, what are your views on the Quad, and what do you think? Is it going to be good for India? Is it a good thing?
Ma'am, Quad is essential, but provided a lot of different mandate that various countries are having. For example, Japan is also having issue with Russia through Korea Island. USA is also focusing more on Russia and not on China. So in a long term, and India is the only country which is having the territorial boundary and whose claims China have been violating in the past. So we need to invest.
The agreements that we've had over the years.
Yes, ma'am. We are having various initiatives under the Quad. Yes, ma'am. So with respect to the peace and stability of the region, or increasing cooperation and the activities that the interoperability of the navies through Malabar exercise, and similar ways the countries are cooperating. But there is need, ma'am, to increase it a lot, because as of now, India is the only country which shares the territorial boundary.
Right.
And
so will Quad be good for India?
Yes, ma'am. In the long run, if it turns out to be a security initiative also, then it will be in the favor of India.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay, Pratik, tell me, Pakistan, there's a lot of problems going on in Pakistan. So do you think from the India's point of view, a disintegrated Pakistan is better, or the present Pakistan?
Sir, in a long-term perspective for India, a disintegrated Pakistan will be in the interest of India, because in general the Sindh province is not much of an having in terms with the central government of Pakistan. Even Balochistan is of a view of having an isolation, and even Punjab province is also having the similar opinion. So in that way, it might create a disturbance in the beginning, but in a long run, if we think of in terms of security perspective, or even if tomorrow we can get a connectivity through Sindh and Balochistan to the central province, so in that way it can be beneficial for the country.
Wonderful. Okay. Now, there's a 4-day week has been proposed. I think a bill has been passed in Tamil Nadu. 4 working days instead of 5 weeks. Are you aware of this?
No, sir, I'm not aware of it. I'll read about it, sir.
Okay, let's. Name change of districts. The last name change was in Maharashtra. two districts where
Yes,
the
sir.
names will change. What is your opinion about it, and what did Supreme Court also gave some opinion on this name change business?
So particularly in Maharashtra, the Aurangabad was changed to the Sambhajinagar and Osmanabad to Dharashiv. And now, if you consider the local history of the place, Aurangzeb is not someone who is viewed with a lot of fan following per se, because he is considered first to be an outsider, and second, he is the one who brutally killed the local leader and who is basically venerated and worshipped in various part of the Maharashtra also. So, in order to give more representation to the ground level society, hearing to what their voices are, and doing a social justice, what the society is demanding, in that way, I will support this initiative. And sir, I have not followed. I have not followed what the Supreme Court have made the comments, sir.
Okay, you've not followed it.
Yes,
Let's not talk about it. Okay, now recently the Prime Minister in the CBI's function, he said that corruption is not an ordinary crime. It takes away the rights of the poor.
Yes, sir.
What did he mean by that?
So, corruption per se, once in a time it used to say that when a central government used to send money, 100 rupees, so to the bottommost person it used to reach around 8 rupee. Now where did this 92 rupee go? So that 92 rupee is something which is an entitlement of a poor. That makes a huge impact in the person's life in terms of health, in terms of education, in terms of connectivity, sanitation. So even food security. So it is a very important thing. But now this, with the digitization and direct benefit transfer, now the leakages have been significantly lowered, sir. But yes, the issue is still there, and there is a need to have a wider solution, multi-pronged approach while dealing with this issue, sir.
Okay. There's a term called FIR. Must have heard, read in the newspapers also.
Yes, sir.
What exactly does it mean?
So it is first information report. It has the perspective from the person who is filing it. It will be their statement. So first information
So now
that
tell me, is the registration of an FIR is mandatory in the police station? If I want to lodge a complaint in form of an FIR, is police bound to register an FIR?
sorry, sir, I'm not aware of the exact detail, but it should be.
It should be. Okay, it's an intelligent guess. Now tell me, people are saying that in the near future, the All India services, that is mainly IAS, IPS and forest service, are likely to face a lot of challenges. What, in your opinion, could be these challenges?
So the main challenges will be in synchronization with our sustainable development goal, that is zero poverty, zero hunger, and in terms of the education, health, sanitation and water care. As now, as Ma'am also have highlighted, we are going through a haphazard growth. So we need to plan our growth. We need to streamline this channel, and for that, a lot of expertise is also required. So as civil servants are mainly generalist, so there is an I would say, sir, there is a need that there should be a specific courses or bridge courses which should be towards giving special skills to the civil servants also. So in a way, we can provide a long-term solution to the problem that we are going to have by 2030, 2035 or 47.
Anything else you can think of?
Sir, technology area is also something which we need to adopt, sir.
Anything else?
No, sir.
Okay. Expectation of people has become very high now.
Yes, sir.
24 hours, one has to be on his toe.
Yes,
Okay. Now, slums, especially in the metros like Mumbai and other places, it's a very common thing. Why? So, what is the solution for this slums?
So we need to have both short-term and long-term solutions for this. For example, for short-term, the alternate accommodation should be provided. In a long-term, we need to discourage such areas. So preemptive strikes on areas which are being encroached should be taken. So further we are not leading to any more slums. Now the alternate rehabilitation can be provided. So for example, in Mumbai, the Dharavi is being reconstructed now. The people will get homes and houses. So satellite cities can come under, and near a main city, there can be better connectivity and better developed area where satellite city can be developed. And there, under Pradhan Mantri Awas Yojana, also some subsidy for the houses can be given. So in a way, we can solve the problem of the people also, and at the same time, the issue of slums also. As also the people, it is our mandate as a welfare state. It is mandate that people should have the basic needs. So that is what my take is. Sir.
Last question. What is this CSR thing?
So CSR is corporate social responsibility. That is a particular section of the amount of profit, around 2%, should be devolved for a social causes. For example, health, education, and to the welfare of the people particularly. So
is it mandated for every organization, or there is some limit mentioned?
Yes, so there is a limit of a certain amount, sir. I'm not able to exactly recall the specific.
And what is the legal provision? And like, on what basis the CSR is a must?
So Companies Act 2030 has a legal provision for it.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, sir.
So Pratik, you're from Nagpur, okay?
Yes, sir.
Nagpur has been recently in news for very hot climate. Yeah, the temperatures of the city
Yes, sir.
have soared very, very high in the last 50 years or so.
Yes, sir.
So, what should actually be done to mitigate the impacts of such high rise of temperature in the city?
So Nagpur lies in a tropic of Cancer, so the insolation cannot never be reduced. So we need to take the preventive measures. For example, urban forestry can be promoted, water bodies can be made, the light color coating on the roof can be envisaged. National Cooling Action Plan initiative can be started in a city like Nagpur, where artificial cooling can be provided, and the sprinkling of water on a street when it particularly crosses 45 degrees, which is very normal in Nagpur city, sir. So such initiatives should be taken. And in a long
But
run,
all
sir,
these are
plantation-
already there in the master plan.
Yes, sir.
So why still it's not happening?
So ideally it should happen, and plantation, there is no alternative to plantation and these initiatives. It should be done, sir.
But there must be something which is missing, no? Because already all these elements are there in Nagpur city master plan.
Yes, sir.
Okay, but still we are seeing the temperatures are increasing. Yeah, much larger in much larger terms as compared to other cities in Maharashtra.
Yes, sir. So these two geographical conditions for Nagpur and Chandrapur.
A lot of cities in India are on Tropic of Cancer.
So these two reasons I
Okay.
think are important.
So, then I saw in your draft that you are interested in cooking.
Yes, sir.
Now, cooking has a major challenge in India today. On the one hand, the medium on which we cook, okay, the fuel we use, whether it is coal, firewood, yeah, electric or LPG, they have all their pros and cons.
Yes, sir.
But given the resource adequacy of India, what would you like to promote as an administrator? Electric cooking or LPG?
Sir, area-specific approach with respect to its availability should be promoted. For example, even for that matter, we can go with methane as an energy. So in various villages, they have the methane tank and they use it as a cleaner form of energy. So one that can be promoted. In the area where we can provide the LPG connections, so LPG areas can also be.
But methane leakage is a major problem of climate change.
Yes, sir. if it is released in the atmosphere, then it is a bigger problem. But it is contained in the container, and the gas which emerge are directly used into the household cooking.
But do you think that in villages the engineering will be so precise so as not to allow leakages?
So I think that is the responsibility of administration to provide the quality manpower,
Okay.
proper training,
Okay.
and in a way we can bring the change if if the administration wants, it can bring the change.
Okay.
Thank you,
But in general, what will be your take? Whether you will like to promote electric cooking or LPG at the country level?
At the country level. So electric cooking will be something I'll
Why?
be promoting. Yes. So first, now our various initiatives are towards making our energy cleaner. So by 2030, we are talking about having 50% clean energy. We are also trying to multiple times we are trying to change the nuclear power or switching to the cleaner form of energy. So in a long run, we will be having enough electricity once we get installed with a national grid initiative. So that way, and subsidized electric devices, if we are providing to the people, then a lot of this cost of import that we incur in terms of natural gas, that can also be reduced. So it will be beneficial for a whole of a section and also for the economy.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
But the problem is there that if everybody starts cooking, it's a cultural thing, no?
Yes, sir.
Everybody cooks at the same time. So if the whole of India starts cooking at the same time, think of the electric load. How can we manage?
Yes, sir. But I think, sir, this is way too much technical for me right now. I will
Okay.
definitely read about it, sir.
Okay. Chalo. Now you have opted for anthropology.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So from the anthropological perspective, tell me why Naxalism flourished in Gadchiroli?
So specifically is with
Why
respect
Baba
to-
Amte made his ashram there?
Yes, sir. So specific reason is the distress that is being in the tribal community. Also with respect to farmers which are there, because Eastern.
You mean to say
March-
that the government was oblivious of their development?
So various central as well as state reports have highlighted the same issue, that central as well as state government have neglected the development of the Eastern Maharashtra, and that is on a various committees and reports they have stated on it as a fact. Now in the last decade or so, the connectivity under Pradhan Mantri Gram Sadak Yojana or the Samriddhi Mahamarga or the
So that's a general view. What is
Yes,
the
sir.
anthropological view?
So, in anthropology, it is because the people in general, were alienated, they were displaced, particularly by various projects, and that displacement and distress was something on which the Naxalite they thrived on. And now, as the industries are coming there, so they have made this as a business model of extortion, kidnapping, ransoms. And in a way, they are also flourishing. But recently, MHA, Ministry of Home Affairs, have also given that they have been successful in reducing the quantum of districts that were affected by the left-wing extremism. So now I think, sir, the things are getting better.
Okay. Now my last question to you. Okay. You have done English literature also, no?
Yes, sir.
At your master's.
Yes, sir.
So, what we gradually listen that a number of very famous English literators, like Shakespeare, okay, they were in the age of Elizabeth or some kind of a dynasty. So, do you think that these dynastic modes of governance is better for promotion of art and literature?
No, sir, this is really not good. Because even in English literature, there is a modern phase and Victorian phase, Elizabethan phase. So this something highlights more of a colonial mindset that they're still living into, and that is not wrong by their side because they still have the monarchy. But we need to change it in a way that we can give more emphasis.
So my
to the
question is
literature.
whether that form of governance is better for promotion of art and literature. Our history is replete with all such examples.
So at a time it would have been beneficial, but right now we are into the democratic institutions, and various writers are getting the representation that they wanted to. So right now, sir, it is not advisable that we shift to the monarchical form of government.
Okay.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Pratik. Considering, I might as well, instead of giving you as feedback, might as well let you know. You are in the Sadhan bat mode throughout your interview. Can you please be in the Aram Se mode?
So I think,
Can you please use your hands to gesticulate and put expressions?
surely, sir, I can.
Please do. Please do. You can sit back, relax a bit. You can put your hands comfortably and use them to gesticulate if you feel the need.
Yes.
Then I would like to see how you answer the questions.
sir.
Okay? Right. Considering you've been through NCC and a lot of it, don't you think that compulsory military training, which has been a debate, is a good thing? And assuming it is a good thing, right? We'll save time there, and please tell me what are the arguments against it.
So we are already a country of 142 crore
All right.
people.
Yeah.
So we do not have a scarcity of human resource with respect to our army. So this is one. Why we should not make it compulsory? Firstly, because we are a democratic country and people have right to choose with respect to their profession. Article 19. Secondly, we do not have scarcity of human resources. Thirdly, it should be individual choice, because patriotism is not something that you can compulsory force on someone. It is something which comes from within. And fourthly, sir, we have a lot of area where we can use our youth instead of putting them into.
Okay, let me interrupt you right there. Now you're repeating yourself.
Yes, sir.
Nobody said that compulsory military training means going to the army.
Yes, sir.
Nobody said people don't have a right to choose after the 1 year compulsory training.
Yes, sir.
Right? Those are different issues. You would also admit that as a nation, a huge population let loose with too much democracy, if I may call it, and too much free choice at a very early age, if I may call it, is inculcating a sense of waywardness and lack of discipline. Don't you think the discipline which this training provides, if you don't want to give them a compulsory military training, give them compulsory NCC. That was my emphasis.
Yes, sir.
And you're coming for civil services, aren't you? So
Yes, sir.
you're exercising your choice. Nobody's taking that away. What do you say to that?
So we also need to think a lot of resources that are being used on a candidate, NCC candidate. For example, during a camp.
Supposing if the government takes a decision,
Yes.
that's the government's lookout, isn't it?
Yes, sir. So if government is willing to take it, then I will wholeheartedly welcome it, because it inculcates discipline, unity, the comradeship, the feeling of national integration, and a lot of good qualities that
All
are
right,
being.
let's leave right there.
Yes, sir.
You mentioned the word polo. Okay. Can you tell me where polo is played in an extremely brutal form? Not water polo, the regular polo.
So
The origin of polo was extremely brutal. Can you tell me about it?
So it is in Manipur in India. The ponies were used for it, and it was brutal.
How is it brutal?
So in terms of there were instances where the ponies would collide with each other.
Oh, come
The
on.
sticks.
Much more brutal than that.
So even water polo is a brutal game.
No. You're talking about the modern. A human person, Buzkashi, read about it.
I'll read, sir. I will read.
Buzkashi in the Afghan provinces. An enemy soldier was used in place of the ball, so to say. Later on, that was the origin of the sport. Okay, it was fairly ghastly. Well, one way of looking at it. They used to consider it as a measure of their macho. Did you want to shock him with this? Buzkashi. Now they use a bakra, a dead bakra, but originally it was an enemy soldier. Anyways, Pune has this great distinction of being the land of now Adair, Punawala. But what was the original seed which was planted in Pune, which made it the origin of all vaccines and antibiotics and medicines? Why Pune? Why not Satara? Let me put it that way. Why not Nanded?
First, with respect to its moderate climate. Secondly, the skilled resource and manpower that is available in the
That's
vicinity.
today.
And third, in the vicinity of Mumbai, only 3-hour connectivity.
Okay.
So, an availability of water, availability of land.
You are giving the facilities, how do you say, the positive points why it was located in Pune. I'm not talking of Adair Punawala at all. I'm talking about what was the original culture. How did Pune get selected is not my point. But what was the first institute which gave Pune its distinctive character of being the center of vaccines and medicines and pharmaceuticals and antibiotics and paracetamols, everything?
So, National Chemical Laboratory, which was established
Earlier than that.
earlier than that. Sorry, sir.
Actually, later than that. But yes, the Hindustan Antibiotics Limited.
Yes.
You heard of
Pimpri,
it? Pimpri.
Sorry. I'm not aware of it, but I'll read about it.
Oh, please. Pimpri.
Pimpri.
Pimpri Chinchwad. Yes.
Okay. Strange. Anyway, INS Virat you have been on.
Yes, sir.
A certain dignitary was recently taken on the INS Vikrant, the Australian Prime Minister. It was not just an ordinary visit. Why was it so important?
Sorry, sir. I have failed to follow the news, sir. I'll read about it, sir.
Okay. Your father is in the artillery?
He's retired.
Retired, was in the artillery.
Yes.
There was a time when artillery and infantry was supposed to be the Mardon wali
Yes, sir.
front line. They were supposed to be the most prestigious and,
Yes, sir.
what is in Pune, what is the regiment center of which particular unit?
34 Nasik Road Battalion.
And
Army Engineering College, Khidki.
Engineering College and
The NDA itself, located
oh no,
in
come on. Which unit? Please. You said Nasik, then a college, and then the NDA Academy.
So I'm aware, but I'm not 100% sure, sir.
Which one?
So Maha Regiment.
Pune Light Horse.
Pune Light.
Pune Light
Yes,
Horse.
Got a PV.
yes, sir.
Paramveer Chakra also.
Race course.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So tell me, in future wars, how much is artillery? How much is infantry going to be relevant even? Because now a fellow with a laptop can do much more damage. So what do you think is the future of all warfare?
So, taking the learning from the Ukraine war,
Yes, please.
it is still relevant that the men on the ground are as lethal as a man with laptop. For
Correct.
example, the Russia came with a lot of helicopters and choppers, and they were man-portable helipads that they could easily take down. That is something which a man can do. And in order to capturing a land is fine, but in order to establish one's control, for that you require infantry. You require
All
army.
right. The last one. What is China doing of late with regard to Taiwan?
Sir, a lot of things.
And okay, let me also add, what is Japan doing with regard to China and its own defense?
Yes, sir. So, China recently conducted a naval exercise under some names, sir, where they tried to surround the Taiwan when Taiwanese premier was in a state visit to United States. In that response, Japan is now increasing its military budget to $300 billion. That will come into generation. Now they're also think of doing self-reliance in terms of defense. Right now, they comes under the umbrella of United States, but the learning from Ukraine.
So why didn't Japan always had this great beef with China and they always did,
Yes,
and
sir.
Korea also.
Yes.
Why didn't they arm themselves for all these decades?
So the constitutional amendment act that were there in their own constitution, which limited them to put.
So weren't they an independent nation? Why was this constitutional amendment? Somebody tells, we tell ourselves that no, by constitutional amendment we'll disband our army. Why did this constitutional amendment come about?
So 1950s, in that time, USA gave the guarantee of the security because of the guilt that it has with respect to Hiroshima and Nagasaki.
Exactly. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.